Since the earlier speaker, Terence, has already done the job, and we know that the audience is very diverse. So there are people from the KG or the higher education, academics, both. So what I'm going to do is, I have got a PPT, but I won't just go too much through the PPT as such. One of the things what makes our job very difficult as educators is that our role is to prepare the students for the jobs of the future. What we are struggling with is teaching them how to keep current with the system today. However, by the time they go into the job market, it's going to be something which does not exist. There are many surveys which say that in the next 5 to 6 years, 60% of the jobs which our students will be doing will not be the kind of jobs which even exist today. So that's the situation what we are into as such. The skills which are going to be important in the future are going to be critical learning, innovation, problem solving skills. And we'll have to make our students be lifelong learners. Now this is the issue what we are facing with. And when we talk of the future, I should spend a little bit, a minute or two on telling about the future of the education itself. If you talk of higher education, there are lots and lots of surveys which come up. There are two schools of thought. Some of them say that a teacher is going to be replaced and you're going to have AIs taking over and machine learning taking over and teaching the kids at an extreme end. Many of them also talk about universities not existing in the near future. So it's even a question of survival of our education fraternity as such. A survey by Clay Christensen from Harvard says that by 2035, only 12 universities in the world will exist the way they exist today. So as things are changing, as times are changing, with digital coming in, there are disruptions bound to happen. It's been ages. I was talking to my 12-year-old son last week, and he says that everything has changed. However, education is yet the same. Even a 12-year-old understands that he's saying that yes, it's not yet changed. But yes, it's bound to change. Things are happening, and I think it's going to hit us more quickly if we don't adapt as such. The MOOCs which came in 2012, edX and all, they started off, and it was slated that these are the things which are going to revolutionize the whole education system. There are a lot of advantage of using MOOCs. If you look at a country like India, it gives anytime, anywhere access. It provides that quality, equity, and at almost free and affordable costs to the students. But it just talks of theory. There is no practice as such. So maybe a blended mode, if MOOCs can be used in that, that is where you will be able to see a lot of benefit coming out of those. In most of the international forums, MOOCs are being talked as failures. How many of you here have done a MOOC and completed it? Okay, there are quite a few. The stats say that more than 90% of the people who register for the MOOCs don't complete it. And those are big figures. We're talking of 90% as such. So what I'm going to share with you is our experience working with Harvard, and they have come up with a new platform. So I'll just take some time on explaining how that works or why that works as such. Now Harvard also came on into the digital wagon. Yes, they are a part of edX also, but then they wanted to create something which will help them reach a separate kind of an audience or a market segment, which currently they're not doing. And then they have come up with HBX as a platform. We are one of the first B schools in India to collaborate with Harvard for the HBX platforms. Now, most of the teachers in the B schools today, what are they finding it difficult? They find it difficult to engage with a student. Getting him in the classroom is the biggest challenge. Most of the students, we have to force them to get into the classroom, right? We had a very interesting experience when we gave this to the first batch. The students came and started asking me, can you keep the labs open till 9 or 10 in the night? There were students who asked that, can we come on Sundays? Can you keep the lab open on Sundays? One of the parents in a Mumbai institute calls me and asks me, what is this course my son is doing? And I said, what's wrong? And they said, we have never seen him study so much in his entire life. He even doesn't bother to have dinner. So what is it that this platform got our students engaged so much into it? The reason is that most of the times the mistake what the edtech companies or even institutions are doing is you're trying to replicate the classroom. So when you're trying to replicate that physical classroom into an online mode, you are getting the same problems which you are facing already into the existing mode and putting it using technology for that. If you want to go on into the real online mode, what you have to do is you will have to totally reimagine the way online education can be done and then reap in the benefits of that. So what Harvard did was, when they made this platform, they leveraged their strengths. The strengths of Harvard is a case study method of teaching. So they have put in those cases. There is not a single lecture which happens on the platform. There is no more interaction more than 3 minutes. Students love that. They learned by doing, they learned by understanding. They had to work in a cohort of around 600 students from around 70 countries across the world. So they could network, they could learn from each other, they could see what others are doing as such, and comments coming from the peers. So the case study method of Harvard also focuses that the faculty is a facilitator and the students are the ones from whom you learn from the peers each other. So this platform leveraged that. The third thing what the platform added was social learning. A combination of all this gets the students very, very engaged as such. I'll just take a moment and show you the video there.
Bring up the wall, please. Webcam play.
Make it as interactive as possible. I'll be using the boards along.
Chalo, Bhumi. Let's go.
Let's get started. How is everyone today? It is so wonderful to see you all. I assume you've all read the case. Let's start with the key decision facing this protagonist. Okay, Mai in Shanghai, you're the decision maker. What's your plan?
When I look at this launch, what I see is faulty decision making every step of the way.
Okay, now this is getting interesting.
We spent close to 800,000, which is plenty.
10.
Take 10.
Rob in Buenos Aires, what are they doing wrong?
You got the value proposition all wrong. Just because he works in one geography doesn't mean he's going to work in another.
Ready for take 4.
Color 4.
All right, so here's what we want to do. Let's take a poll. Everybody open up their polling tool. First option is to stay the course. Second option is to poll and relaunch. And the third option is somewhat in between. All right, so most of you, despite the problems, think this company should stay the course. Papa, I take it you disagree?
Well, yes, I do disagree.
Color 25.
So Sally, why does that worry you?
What it tells me is that the business lacks discipline.
And every time they encounter a problem, they try to spend their way out of it.
Jeffrey in London, what about you? What's your plan?
I'd start with a product mix.
I'd pull the marketing, make the necessary adjustments, and then relaunch.
Now that was a great session. See you all next week.
So this is what at Harvard they're trying to say is the future classroom. This is the reimagining the way the classroom is going to be. When I was studying at Harvard, we got to be in the beta phases when this was being created. And I have done myself some 4 to 5 HBX live sessions. And it scared me to an extent. You're sitting in India on a 2 Mbps connection, interacting with 80 students from all over the world, almost getting the same experience what we could get into an Harvard classroom. And in fact, the difference is that we found that we were more attentive in these classes than as compared to the physical ones. Because you're being monitored, you're up onto the screen. I'm sure they have AIs running in the background, which is even informing and telling them as per the facial expressions, who's losing interest, who's moving out, or whatever. As you could see in the video, one of them nodded and then the faculty immediately went to them as such. The polls, the interactivity or whatever really helps. So this, I think, is going to be how the education is going to be in the future, and more so ever for the higher learning as such. As we talk about the future, how I see that universities are going to be centers for knowledge sharing. Just by passing a degree, your job is not going to end. You have to keep on reskilling and upskilling. And what that means is you have to be in touch with them. And that is where programs like this and classrooms like this are going to be of immense help. Now, I'm short of time, but what happened was Harvard has spent millions of dollars in creating these classrooms. Others have started adopting, and SP Jain has now, I think, launched an ELO, which is a fully online mode executive MBA using the same kind of classroom. So this was the HBX, what I showed you. This is the online MBA, and I think the company which has done the backend is there participating in the exhibition hall itself here. So they are right into in here. I was told that they have spent 40 to 50 lakhs in getting this done. So from millions, Indians have managed to get it to 40, 50 lakhs. They've used those LEDs and whatever. Last month, I was at IIM Bangalore, and what they have managed to do it is probably at 100th the cost. So what they have said is, we are not going to have LEDs in the classroom. We just have a software and we're just going to use a projector. So they have saved all that cost and got it at a fraction of this thing. It shows that I've finished my time. So if there are any other discussions or whatever, I'll be happy to take it online. What I believe is that we have to leverage technology in order to make our teaching learning process more effective, to make the pedagogies more effective, engage the students more as such, and prepare them for the jobs of the future. I don't see a scenario where teachers are getting redundant, but maybe there are tasks of teachers which are repetitive, can be taken care by AIs or by machine learning as such, and their role is going to be more and more important. However, the quality there matters. So the teachers who maintain quality are going to be the ones who are going to be in big demand in the future also. Thank you.